Yes, and I'm back. Welcome. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مدد يا سلطان الأولياء، مدد يا سلطان الأنبياء، مدد يا محمد المصطفى. دستور يا شاه مردان يا علي. إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Yes, we started. This is the second part of mind, body, soul. From a Sufi point of view. I don't know. Welcome. We have no flags here. We have been talking about inflammations, and now it goes slowly into this topic of acidic and alkaline, right? But I think I will start with Candida, as this is a really interesting point to talk on metaphysical connection to the physical world, right? So, Candida, basically, when you look at it in a scientific point of view, it will work like it can control you, right? It can control your mind, it can control your feelings. Yes? Interesting, right? How is that? It's true, they say through hormones, right? But when you look really closely, it has some aspects of the ego. So this is like a materialized ego, okay? You have fed your body these things, so now the candida can grow. And you can say it's a materialized thing. It's a symbolic thing, you can say, but it can also be a portal, right? For those ego energies to enter. Yeah. So as we said before, they are frequencies. So if you have the candida and the ego, it is having a certain frequency, and in the invisible world, the ego can make a frequency also, and the candida will make the same. Just for example, how one can imagine a portal, right? I mean, back in the days, things have been viewed like this, just that we now know more about the mechanics, right? Hormones and how they grow, why they grow, and things like this, and we can stop it. People back then also could stop it, but they just said, okay, make this and this, and people did this and this. Yes, so these are, for example, candida, and cancer is also one example of suppressed feelings, suppressed emotions, right? And then we can come back to the point of inflammation, which we were talking in the last video. So if you missed this, you can look this again, maybe it will make more sense. Otherwise, just continue. Welcome. Cancer, oppressed, and we are the oppressors of our own hearts. If we oppress our own hearts enough, we can get oppressors. This is why oppressors are the most sad beings in the world, yeah, because you just can oppress if you have oppressed your heart in the first place. Yeah. Yes, and this pain, it goes hand in hand with inflammations. So the inflammations, as we said, it's stored energy or a fire in the body. And there's nothing against fire or hellfire, yeah, but you just need to use it. You have to unblock it so that the pain goes away. Yes, very important. Yes. So acidic and alkaline is similar. Yes, it's similar. Acidic is similar to inflammations, and there are many things to help with inflammations, like minerals or with acidity. and antioxidants. We know all this stuff. I'm just grasping the surface here, scratching the surface, sorry. um, yes, and there are so many kinds of water. I think in the old cultures, there was not only water, okay? There's a whole science about water itself. Nowadays, we know it can have this structure, it can be alkaline, it can be God knows what, yes. The interesting thing about water is that it doesn't have a frequency on its own, but it takes the frequency of the vessel it's inside. So, this is important because water is such a great frequency transmitter. You can look this up on Wikipedia about these frequencies, I think. Anyhow, in the days, the cultures, they had at least 60 or maybe even 600 types of water. So water from the river is not the same as from the lake, and it's not the same from the source, it's not the same from the ocean, and so on and so on and so on. You cannot make this so easy. It's not as easy. It's not H2O like. So many components in the water. It's important to have a look on the water because we are 80% from water, right? Yes. As I told you, I've written here down some things just which like brainstorm. So there are also ways to, because I just said that in the previous video, this is like the bubbles from a lake, right? Or from a swamp. They have been stinking around underwater, and once you start detoxing, be it inflammations or acidity, you are like putting the stick in the mud and the bubbles come out. So there are many ways. You can go easy ways, or in somehow it appears to be easy, yeah. And you can go more direct ways. So one of the more direct ways is to like beta-glucan, I think, and mistletoe, for example, to use those. They will, in a way, produce a controlled fever state. So the fever, as we said before, it's not a bad thing. We just have to embrace it, that the inflammations come out. Also, calamities and illness. This is the whole wisdom of calamities. Something leaves us through calamities. How is the verse? ألم نشرح لك صدرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا, right? So with heaviness comes ease, and with heaviness comes ease. Within heaviness is the ease is also one translation of this verse. So, yes, the secret of this, we are just getting lighter. So once you understood this, you will be happy if you have got an inflammation that comes out here. Yes, a calamity. Please, we don't want to have calamities. We want to go the easy way, yes. But if it happens, we should embrace it. There's some cleaning process going on in the metaphysical. Yes, although we don't understand, but it's parallel to the inflammation thing I just explained. Yes, eating the rainbow, water, and also another important thing, of course, for healing, as we mentioned the 5 elements before, you don't only work on the chemical field, you work on all the fields. Emotional, this is through the meditation or other things. Spiritually, prayer, talismans. I mean, stones, right, or crystals can also help with many things. The topic is so wide. So why crystals? Because the Prophet ﷺ had rings with a stone, right? So we learn from him. He had perfumes. He was an aroma therapist, into aromatherapy. Yes, essential oils, all those things. This already on the way to the alchemy, right? So don't neglect it. It can help us all on the way, right? Also, I talked about salt, also very important. Now, some people say too much salt is not so good. Surely not too much is not so good, but if we have been consuming all our life white salt, which is from the refinery, refined salt, the white salt, we have to stock our elements, right? So for this, all the other salts, Himalaya salt or sea salt, natural sea salt, are perfect. Or just get some minerals, but this is from nature, right? So you have all the minerals in sea salt that you need. This everything inside. Yes, you have spices and herbs. This is also a big topic. Yes, we should have learned this everything in school, honestly, yeah. And now people want to get healthy and they are like overwhelmed by this big information they have to learn now. So at least I think we should have learned it at school. Yes, spices are hot and herbs are cold, right? We can. It's not for all of them like this, but for most of them. So what does it? But what does it mean they are hot? Do they make inflammations? The spices, the spices usually will not make inflammations, but they will open the gateways to release inflammations. So these are two basic different concepts, right? The one is releasing inflammations, so you can get hot without eating carbs or something, but just because the blood is flowing better or whatever, right? And the stored inflammations are brought into movement, okay? This is one concept. The other thing with the herbs, it's more like smoothing it, yeah? Okay, they cool it down. So your body will get cooler and the inflammations will also get cooler. You will not get so much energy from the inflammations, but you don't need to. It's a matter of taste, how to work with it, or a matter also on daytime or nighttime, different things. Yes, colonial drugs. Coffee, sugar, tobacco, tea, black tea. This is a big topic. And yes, I'm also drinking coffee sometimes. But try to avoid it out of many reasons. I don't know if I'm gonna go into this. Maybe let's see how much time we've left at the end. Yes, the best herbs are in front of our doors, right? And now we come to enzymes, because if you get an herb in front of your door and eat like this, it's still living in its enzyme. And enzymes, I mean, there are also vitamins, right? But enzymes, they are the absolute killer, right? So everything that is fermented is very good, especially, you know, once again for our gut, because this is life, and it will process everything in the smoothest way possible. sauerkraut fermentation and kefir. So there's milk kefir and water kefir, right? These are the good things. And even, oh yes, I have to make a video on Nabiz, the holy date drink of the Prophet. Yes, I should write it down because I forget it otherwise. Nabiz from dates. This is perfect fermentation. Very good drink. Very easy also to make, just takes a few days. Yes. But kefir, at least I heard some Caucasian guys say, yes, kefir was brought to our people by the Prophet. And yes, I think that the Prophet had some techniques for fermentation, but those are the only two sources I have. This Caucasian guys and the hadith that he made, Nabiz. And Nabiz, just to tell you right now, it's not just about putting dates into water and waiting for 2 days. No. There's another step. You need to get the fermentation bacteria inside. And yes, after the 3rd day, it's haram. Yes, we know this, okay? So just drink it after the 2nd day. Or like let it be there for 2 or 3 weeks and you will have vinegar. Also very good. Yes, so this is Nabiz. I scratched the surface. I should do a video on this. We will do it. Yes, and there are so many things. Detox, electrosmog, heavy metals. We talked about this in our other videos. Okay, colonial drugs. Maybe let's come back to this or not. Sugar, just avoid them. I mean, tobacco we know anywhere, anyhow. And the thing is about those things, they have been told us that they are healthy. Also, I talked to some people lately and they said to me, yes, when I was young, the doctor says that it's good to smoke a cigarette. I don't know. The same thing with coffee. I've talked about coffee a lot of times, but yes, for the people who didn't watch it, I can repeat. That's yes, coffee. It depends also on the. I mean, those things are highly addictive, or addictive. Maybe not highly, but addictive. Let's agree on this. Sugar, first of all, and the energy which it was produced back then and still is, like people spitting on each other. It's like modern slavery, and back then old slavery even worse, right? And it's like weird because we have you have these things in Europe, for example, like stimulants, yeah. But no, you need it from far away. You have to buy it, yeah, because then you can make a good. And it is all about marketing. This coffee thing, like, you cannot go out and you see. Oh, I live for coffee. Yes, coffee is a god nowadays, an idol. Yes, it's too much. This is all I want to say. Nothing against coffee. It's a nice plant. It has healing properties for sure. But intention and how much is utterly important. So sugar and coffee at least once in a life, make a break for 3 months or 4. They say 3, yeah, 90 days. And then you come back and you will see how much you need. Maybe you just need a sip and you're Yes, and intention for what? Out of greed? Out of fear? For what? This is important questions we can ask ourselves. Yes, but I'm talking to myself first, right? So never mind. Okay, this is good. Today it was a little bit shorter, the second part. So if you like it, you know what you have to do. If you have thoughts, you also know what to do. And see you next time. Assalamu alaikum. All the best.